Yo, I cannot believe it. The Tactics Ogre Reborn trailer has dropped. It dropped in my sleep. I woke up to a ton of messages on the Discord, man. It's lit. We're all lit. Coffee posted a video. He's gonna post another one later today. I'm gonna post this one right now. So let's get right into it, y'all. So the first thing we see on this screen are the gods and goddesses. Looks very reminiscent of the SNES and PS1 versions at the beginning of the game when you are answering the questions and choosing your alignments. Maybe it's the screen for giving your recruits new elements because each recruit has an element according to all the screenshots that we've seen so far. Now this next scene happens quite quickly, but once we slow it down we can see a couple of things. The first big one is that Ravenous does a pincer attack. And the best way to describe pincer attacks if you haven't played Triangle Strategy or Knight of Lotus or the SNES and PS1 versions is that you want to align two allies behind and in front of an enemy or on each side, whichever way you're going about it. And then one ally attacks and the other ally decides to counter your attack and they end up hitting the enemy that's sandwiched between both of y'all. So we don't know if this mechanic is going to be universal or if it's just going to be for spears, but it looks like they've made it official, and it's an official thing that happens, and you do see a marker when it does happen, so that's pretty cool. Next big thing is that tarot cards are still in the game. We can see them floating at the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen. So those little icons from the leaks, we don't know what they are quite yet, but they're not replacing tarot cards. I think the most logical conclusion is that they're field buffs. They're scattered throughout several maps in several different varieties from what we can see here in the trailer. And maybe, they last a couple turns. Maybe they last until the end of the battle. Who knows? But I think it's a pretty cool addition. This next screen is ridiculous. Off rip, we get treated with the big reveal that we are going back to the original SNES and PS1 in-battle menu system. Now, I don't really know how to feel about this one, but there are some key takeaways here. The first is that Denim is a ninja class, and you can see right there he has the ability to double attack with both swords, or just use one of the swords, or use his ranged shuriken option. The next big thing is that we see ninjutsu has its own category as well, and underneath each picture we can see each ability's cost. So those are probably going to cost MP. And then we also have finishers making their return as well. You see right there, minus 360 HP. That is going to be ridiculous. And the last big change is items. They are equipable now, and you can bring up to 4 of them in battle, which is just reminiscent of the SNES and PS1. I mean, everything about this screams retro, and I'm just pleasantly charmed, man. I couldn't be happier. I've never really played past the first few tutorial battles in the SNES and PS1 versions, so I don't know how it's going to feel, how I'm going to have to adjust to being limited to just 4 items, being limited to only a couple of skills. But let me not even get ahead of myself. I spoiled the little thing about skills, but moving on. The last thing we gotta notice here is that Denim does look like he has a few power-ups on him. He looks like he has Fortify or some kind of defense up boost, and then he looks like he also has like walk through water, but that's like an innate ability from the ninja class, I think. Or maybe he used some ninjutsu to give himself water walk. And then the last thing he has there is Stunbringer as well, which just lets your melee attacks inflict stun once they connect. Next, we get treated to a couple of finishers. They are still in the game, but we don't know if they're going to be using MP, if they're going to be using HP, or some other type of method. Chariot looks very nice, and this is the type of UI I would have preferred across the board. Give me a solid background so I can clearly understand and see all my choices and what I'm trying to do. So for those of you that don't know, the Chariot system works like this. It creates a quick save for each individual unit in each and every battle, and you can go up to 50 turns into the past, which is useful for re-rolling if somebody gets a lucky crit on you, or if somebody takes a loot bag that you were trying to get to, or if you want to be scummy and you just want to never miss your actions, you can go for that as well. The next big thing here is that Canopus does a finisher in fast forward mode, which is great to see because some of these animations can get crazy. The next screen here shows us Denim picking up what is called a physical card. So I do think those are going to be field buffs like I said earlier. Okay, this screen is juicy as hell right here. Off the rip, look at that. We can equip our full armor sets, bro. We got helmet, body armor, we got the arm guards, we got the leg guards, and we got the jewelry slot. And you have the two little boxes right there in case you're using two one-handed weapons. In this case, she's got a dual hand spear, so it's taking up both hand slots. And then you have item slots. You can equip up to 4 items. You can equip up to 4 spells and 4 skills as well. And you can equip up to 8 finishers. And so I don't really know how that's going to work, but that's going to be crazy because the main problem with the PSP version is that everyone had access to everything. And you had 10 skills to equip on every person. Every person could learn every single magic, and if they couldn't learn it, you can just use the magic from the scroll. So this is going to encourage very unique builds, and it's really going to rubber band everything. So you can have one Valkyrie that's a bit more offensive, but you can also have another Valkyrie that's a bit more focused on utility and healing, or, you know, things like that. I don't know if that skill on the right is anatomy or if it's recruit because it has thought bubbles over. Next, we got the zoom out mechanic. Not only do we get 1 zoom, but we get 2 zooms, and we can even do a top view just like in the PSP. Again, in the party management screen, we can see several characters have several buff icons on them. So I'm pretty sure those icons have some type of relation to their skills, kind of like the PSP version, fortify, strengthen, things like that, because that doesn't look like a screen that would appear if you're looking at your party through a battle, because here you have the option to rearrange units and all type of junk that you can only do from the main screen on the world map. The next big one is party formations. So if you see at the top of the screen, battle party number 1. Now, I don't know if this means that you can save several compositions or if this is just referring to party 1 and then party 2 on another side of the map, but I don't remember having to split your party in this game. But it's been a while since I've done all the castle missions, so maybe it's just referring to that. The last big thing happens so fast in the trailer that you blink and you miss it, and it's basically this: items automatically restocked. That way you don't have to be doing so much menuing in the shops, especially if crafting is still a thing. We don't know if it's still a thing or not, but that's going to be fantastic, and it's also going to be great because now you can actually continue equipping your units with items, and you don't have to worry so much about that. So I don't really know what the customization level is going to be behind that mechanic, but I'm grateful that it's there. And that's it, y'all. Let me know which system you're going to get it on: PS4, PS5, Switch, or PC. I might have to double dip and get it on the Switch and the PC, fam. You feel me? I think I'm going to have to double dip. But it's $50, November 11th. I can't wait to see y'all at launch, man. Take it easy.